day and welcome to JJM Leadership Foundation Podcast. We hope to empower you to your greatness. Meet our guest in the next podcast. See you on the other side.
JJM Leadership. JJM Leadership. JJM Leadership Foundation.
Hello everybody, I hope you are doing so well wherever you are. I want to take this time just to acknowledge some of the speakers that came before us. In the month of March, we had Ruzani Rapoli, the coach, who came and inspired you with a message of hope. And I believe that through the interaction that we saw, there is so much benefit that you found out of that podcast. And we are hoping that you continue to be inspired, you continue to remind yourself, you continue to share the message with others that may benefit out of our podcast. Number two, we had Dr. Maposa, who came there and also spoke to us in terms of the leadership ethics. And I'm hoping that you are improving as a leader to become the best version of yourself. Because if you don't do that, ethics, unfortunately, they are also punishable by law. So as leaders, as organization, whether profit or non-profit, whether a church or a private organization, it's important, therefore, to make sure that we adhere into the ethics that are supposed to help us to become better people. We also had Bernard Clive from Ghana. That's one of my friends and one of the guys that I look up to him in terms of his writing. He has written more than 50 books that are bestsellers in Amazon. So that guy, when he came here, he spoke to us around a leadership brand. That as a leader, we need to work and build up on our brand. Because anyway, whether you like it or not, you are a brand. The question is, what kind of a brand are you? Are you an inferior brand or you are a quality brand? Write that on the comment box that you are a quality brand. You are not an inferior brand, but you are that brand that everyone is looking for in the market. So I'm hoping that that is what you've also done in terms of your takeaway. You know that last week we had a little bit of a struggle with Bongi Musa, who will also come to us in the coming weeks. We will make sure that we reschedule his podcast, his webinar, his teachings, so that we can also continue to learn from people that always inspire us to become the best people. Yes, today we're at the beginning of April, ladies and gentlemen. We are at the beginning of April. Yes, we are excited. We're excited to see you continue to like, keep on liking, and continue to share the message, because we believe that the content that we're bringing here is something that it's supposed to be helping you to become a better person. Is that okay? Today I'm going to be talking to you on the topic learning to lead. And the reason why I want to be as simple as possible, it is because we always receive a lot of feedback from you. You are helping us to shape our content. You are helping us to become the best people. You are also helping us to make sure that we rank down our content to the best way possible. So you are helping us to do that. So some of the feedback that I got was, how do I start to become a leader? Yes, we hear you talking about we are born to lead, we're born to become this and that, but how do I start from where I am? Some of you were even saying, I don't even have a leadership role or a management role in my organization. I'm just an ordinary person. Some of you are even saying, I'm just a graduate. How do I become a leader in that perspective? And that is why, and that is what influenced or inspired me to want to share with you on how to become a leader, learning on becoming a leader. Because this is important. You must understand that becoming a leader, becoming a better leader, because every day I believe we can better ourselves, is that leadership involves a mindset change, involves your character, it involves your skills, it involves your capabilities, it involves your strategies, it involves your leadership style. It involves many, many things. And so as I start today, allow me to use these two opening statements that are going to help you to grasp this concept on how to become a better leader, on learning how to lead, as per my subject today, learning how to do what? To lead. Always help me. Let's continue to run this thing. Let's learn together. I always appreciate those comments on the comment box. Everything, when you write it there, you are helping us to also improve our content. Is that okay? How many people did you tag today? I want you to tag those, just a minimum of 2 people. Tag them, let them know that we are here learning on how to lead. Learning on how to do what? To lead. The first thing that I want you to note is that leadership is not a one-size-fits-all. Leadership is not what? A one-size-fits-all. I have coached people, I have counseled people, I have spoken to people on several occasions around the aspects of leadership, but we cannot adopt one solution for all organizations. What is important is that as a leader, you need to be able to, to be agile enough, or as an organization, you must be agile enough to be able to embrace new knowledge, new abilities, new people that are coming into your space. So if you try to use one size fit all, you are going to struggle. You're going to experience so much struggle in your organization. You're going to experience so much struggle in whatever you are trying to do. It is important, ladies and gentlemen, to say that leadership, it is not a one size fit all. You have to, to understand the complexity of the problem that you're trying to solve, because leaders or leadership, it's always seen every time when we are solving a particular problem. There are complexity that comes with leadership. There are environment that comes with leadership. The environment it's also important. There are times as well. There are seasons as well that also talk to your leadership style. So one size cannot fit it all. Is that okay? And that is why I honor and respect those pastors that are running ministries in the townships and the rural area in particular, because there, the challenges that you're experiencing are totally different from what we at the cities are also experiencing. We're not saying the challenges are not there in the cities, but the complexity is not always the same. Number 2, leadership is multidisciplinary. So leadership, you cannot come and say you're going to run an organization using a particular skill, just a single competency, just a single, you're going to use a quick fix solution for your organization to grow or to become better. No, you have to make sure that you are blending. There must be you must synthesize your skills, you must synthesize your strategies, you must synthesize your leadership style. All those things must become part of your leadership style that you want to drive that organization to move forward. I warn you today, if you're going to try to run an organization using a one linear line, a one line of thinking, of thought process, it's not going to work, because every time when you are running an organization, you are running it with different audience. There are other people that are running with young audience, but some people, if we talk about churches, for example, in churches you've got young people that are at Sunday schools, kids that are at Sunday school. You've got young people, you've got the young adults in the organization, you've got those that are married but still regard themselves as young people. There are so many complexities. You've got those that are pensioners that still believe they are the young at heart. But the reality of the matter is that you need to understand that you need a multidisciplinary approach in order for you to serve your audience. You use one approach, it's not going to work for you. So remember today, I'm going to share with you about 5 things that are going to help you on how to become a better leader, and how do you start learning to lead, learning to do what? To lead. The first thing that I want you to take note into this podcast, I want you to take note that you need to adopt a leadership mindset. You need to do what? Adopt a leadership mindset. Because being a leader, it requires you to think beyond today and think beyond yourself. 2 things. If you want to be a successful leader, you need to think beyond today. You need to think beyond yourself. Because leadership is not always constrained around you. It's not always built around yourself. No, leadership has to think about a future. Leadership has to grow an organization beyond where you are. It is therefore important that as a leader, you must learn to anticipate. You must learn to envision. You must have a clear vision of what you want to achieve. You must connect with people. You cannot be a leader that does not connect with people. You don't know what your people, your audience are going through, and yet you expect them to be as effective and efficient as possible. It's just not going to happen. So you need to adopt, you need to embrace a leadership mindset. A leadership mindset that says, it starts with me. A leadership that says, when this thing fails, it means that I have failed the organization. So as a leader, you need to build trust. You need to empower people. You need to guide people as a leader so that they become the best version of themselves. Is that okay? So you need to adopt a leadership mindset. Leaders, they adopt a leadership mindset. If you are still thinking about yourself, you are still thinking about your cats, your dog, and everything about yourself, you are not yet ready to become a leader. And that is why you will realize that some of the characteristics that defines a leader is their selfless spirit. When we can learn this thing, even from Jesus Christ, who was selfless. He demonstrated that in many a time when he was serving his disciples, showing that he's selfless. The act of dying on the cross, it was showing that this is a selfless leader. But how many times do we find leaders that are always, it's about themselves, they are always thinking everything about themselves? That does not work. You will never become an effective leader if it is always about you. Leadership thinks beyond today, it thinks beyond self. That is leadership. Number 2, you need to choose a role to play. Wherever you are, there are opportunities to lead. Ladies and gentlemen, I always hear people say, where do I start? How do I lead? Where am I going to lead? I don't have a position. I've not been appointed as this person. I'm not appointed as an usher. I'm not appointed as a home cell leader. Where do I lead? Ladies and gentlemen, there is always opportunities to lead in life. It is not always in that one organization, but you can lead in communities. You can lead in non-profit organizations. You can volunteer your leadership capabilities when you go there. There is always opportunities for us to lead. One of the problems why we struggle today, we struggle with the concept of leadership, it is because we are so congested in one particular area. We are congested and we are thinking that we are going to be able to make an influence. It is not just going to happen. So as a leader, we need to choose roles of influence. Is that okay? We need to choose roles of influence. You cannot be in everything. You can't be a jack of all trades. You can't do everything in this world. Choose a particular role that you want to play. You may have an official position. You may be called a manager, but there is an opportunity for you to lead in that organization. Can I give you an example? You can lead yourself in such a way that people, when they look at you as a model of leadership. You can lead others. You can lead the thinking and innovation in your organization. You can just lead that aspect. It does not need you to be appointed to be a leader of innovation. No. You can also lead a particular activity. I always wonder, when organization gives people to volunteer particular skills, to volunteer themselves, and you will find these people that want to be leaders running away and say, no, I can't volunteer, I can't go there, I can't do this. No. So it is important for you. You need to find opportunities in where you can exercise your leadership. So pick up a leadership role. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the things that I have seen in this life is that sometimes the best method, the best place where we can be as influential as possible is when we are sitting at a place where we are not fully appointed. I have seen it in my life. I've seen it in some of the stuffs that I've done in life, that the effectiveness that I have seen in places where you volunteer, but you are not necessarily appointed to that as a position, there is always a space to excel, a space to become a better person. So the second thing that you need to do if you want to be a leader, you need to make sure that you do what? You choose a particular role. You can choose an organization, you can choose a place where you can go and play that role. And that's why I said we can lead ourselves. We can lead ourselves in our families. We lead ourselves in organization, non-profit organization, in a places where, in these places where we are just given these opportunities to come and lead in organizations. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, you need to choose a role. You cannot be a leader that is dominant. You can't be a leader that is passive. You can't be a leader that is doing nothing. Number 3, you need to lead yourself first. This I just want to emphasize. I want to emphasize it because when you are leading yourself, ladies and gentlemen, it helps you to become that model. It helps you to also learn some ways of doing things and also other things that you need to avoid, in particular in terms of leading yourself. You don't have to be a perfect person to lead yourself. No, you don't have to. But as a leader, you need to be committed to excellence. You need to be committed to competency. You need to be committed to consistency. That's how you lead yourself. You don't need to be perfect, but there's nothing wrong in having integrity. There's nothing wrong in being consistent. There's nothing wrong in building up your competency in order for you to grow as a person. Lead yourself. That's where you start. A lot of time, we want to lead people. Everyone, I think, and I said this earlier, the place of leadership, the place where we've got so much traffic, there is so much congestion, because every person believes that they are supposed to be contesting a particular space. When we talk about leadership, ladies and gentlemen, I said to you, leadership is influence. You need to start influencing people to the best of your ability, influencing them to do good. When you are in that organization, is that organization growing because of your presence? Is that organization thriving because of your presence? Is that organization becoming better because of your presence? It is therefore important, ladies and gentlemen, to make sure that whatever you do it in line with your personal leadership, self-leadership. What are the questions that you need to answer in leading yourself? The question that I want to ask you is, why do you aspire to become a leader? Why do you want to be a leader? Your motive determines your next move. You know, there are other people that are leading organizations because somehow they want to self-enrich themselves. It's for self-enrichment. We are there for the wrong reasons. So you need to be able to understand and be very clear, articulate the reasons why you are running that organization, or you want a space to lead, you want a space to influence, because when you do so, it tells you that there are many possibilities for your leadership. What do you want to accomplish? I always believe that every leader must be able to have clear goals in terms of what they want to accomplish. Ladies and gentlemen, we can't do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. So a leader must be able to sit down, reflect, and say, this is the direction that we want to take. We know that we've got bigger dreams, but in these bigger dreams, we cannot achieve them at once. But we need to make sure that we are achieving this thing by milestones. We are planning for these things. We are making sure that we want to go ahead and achieve this greatness because we have the capability. So as a leader, as you are leading yourself, you need to answer this question. What is it that you are intending to accomplish? The last thing that I want you to look at in particular in leading yourself is, how will your leadership benefit others? How will your purpose benefit others? If it is about you, you are already on the wrong lane of leadership, because leadership has to be selfless. Leadership has to be about others. Leadership has to grow other people. Number 4, as a leader, if you want to lead effectively, you need to take a stock. When did you last sit down and reflect on yourself? When did you last sit down and reflect on your capability, reflect on what you are able to do, reflect on everything that you are able to do? It is important, ladies and gentlemen, that as a leader, you need to look at your strength. Many a time you find leaders that knows their strength, but they want to swim even in the mud with pigs. Because if you don't know that you are meant to fly high with eagles and you start to swim with pigs, or you go and swim with fish, you are not going to thrive because you are not born to do that. A leader knows their strength. A leader knows their capability. A leader knows that they are not jack of all trades. And the leader knows there is a reason why people are around them. Because the reason why you've got people around you is to help you to work on your vision, is to help you to build up on the directive of your vision. It is very important, ladies and gentlemen, for you to reflect on that part in everything that you're doing, that you need to sit down, look at the strength that you have. What are the qualities that you have? All of us, I want to tell you, there is that one thing that we can do. Sometimes we limit ourselves. Sometimes we delay ourselves because we are thinking that we don't have enough. We want to be this big thing that has never been seen in the face of the earth. And yet we forget that there are these qualities that only you possess. Some of you, if you can just look at yourself, you articulate better than some of us. You speak better. You are able to put your ideas much better. You are able to even argue your points much better. You even win a case even when you don't even have, the leg to stand on. You can even sell ice cream in winter. Those are all your capabilities that you have, that you must use in your leadership, ladies and gentlemen. What are the qualities that you have? The other thing that you need to look at in terms of taking the stock, you need to look what are the natural abilities that you have, or the natural preferences that, there are people that have got their own particular preferences. And yet when they want to go and possess or take a leadership role, they don't want to consider that. Then you are limiting yourself. Take a stock, because you can't be everything to people. Take a stock. You can't be every solution to people, because as a leader, you can only be able to solve what is within your domain. Imagine if you start to solve all the community problem. You are the guy. When we are looking for the spiritual problems, you are the guy. When we are looking for business advisory, your name is there. When we are looking for, casting out demons, you are there. When we are looking at evangelism, you are there. When we are looking at accountants, you are there. You cannot be everything to people. There is a reason why God gave you capabilities. There's a reason why God also gave you limitations. The reason why you've got limitations is to also understand that you cannot do everything. Is that okay? The last thing that I want you to note, and I want you to reflect on in this part of the podcast, is that you need to challenge yourself. As a leader, you need to sit down and challenge yourself, because you cannot succeed, you cannot grow, you cannot become a best person in life if you are doing the same thing over and over again. There is a saying that an insane person, or I say, yeah. So is that person, is that person who does the same thing over and over again and expect what? Different results. Then you are sane. A sane person that is mad, a person that is out of touch, is that person that does the same thing over and over again and expect different results. And I want to just challenge you, ladies and gentlemen, and say to you, there is greatness in the inside of you. There is that thing that only you can do. There is that thing that only you can be able to achieve. But you need to start challenging yourself. You cannot do these things over and over again and still expect the same results. You need to change your idea. You need to change your experiences. You need to change, your association. You need to challenge yourself. Start to do something that you have never done before in order for you to become a better person. Leaders grow because they keep on challenging themselves. The other thing that you can also do, we know that you've got a bigger vision, but this bigger vision can be achieved by little milestones, like I said before. You need to challenge yourself, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot achieve greatness in life if you are not challenging yourself. You just want to remain the way you are in your life. Allow me to repeat some of those points that I've mentioned to you, the 5 points that are going to help you to lead, learning on how to lead. Number 1 is that you need to adapt into the leadership mindset. That's what you need to do. You need to adopt into the leadership mindset. Change the way you think, change the way you perceive yourself. Change the way you think, change the way you see yourself. Do you see yourself as a leader? You will definitely succeed in that life. Do you see yourself as a follower? You may struggle to achieve greatness, but it is important for you to know that followers can also become leaders. Number 2, you need to choose your role, your leadership role. Life gives us a lot of opportunities for us to be able to lead and run into a particular direction. So it is important, ladies and gentlemen, to make sure that we choose a leadership role. Number 3, we need to lead ourselves first. Personal leadership is important because that way you are able to lead self. You are able to answer questions. Why am I trying to achieve what I'm trying to achieve? What is the purpose of my leadership? Why am I starting this organization? Is it there to serve people or to serve me? Those are the things that you need to reflect upon. The other thing that I want you to take note, which is number 4, you need to take a stop. Look at your capability. There is this SWOT analysis. It's a very old methodology, but it helps you. It's very quick. It helps you to understand what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses, what are your threats and what are your opportunities. Some of your organizations, you are not looking at that. You're just surprised. You know, some of the churches that we have, we're just surprised to see churches mushrooming in our neighborhood because somehow on a daily basis, we are not scanning the environment. We are not looking at where things are moving to. So it is important if you want to thrive as an organization that understand the environment. And that is why Miles Monroe says it is better to orchestrate change rather than wait to see change happening in your neighborhood. If you want to see things happening, orchestrate the change. Make sure that you are the driver for the change. Number 5, challenge yourself. Leaders, you cannot grow, if you don't stretch yourself, you don't stretch your thinking, you don't expand your leadership capability, you will never become the best version of yourself. The other thing that I want you to do as we are wrapping up here is that we need to make sure that I want to give you an exercise that you need to wrap, as we are wrapping now, that you need to observe this week. I want you to go and find a leader, a person that you think is the best leader that you have found, and that person can be a leader in business, a leader in politics, a leader as a thought leader, in innovation, anything that comes to mind. I want you to make sure that in that leader, you go and observe the following. Observe what they do to inspire others, to listen to them, to follow them, and also act. That thing, it will help you so that you can improve on your leadership. Number 2, also identify, after you've identified these leaders, notice what makes them successful. By so doing, you look at their leadership style. Are they autocratic? Are they democratic? What is it that is making them to be successful as leaders? And that way, use that to adopt into your leadership style. I'm hoping that there is something that you've learned for yourself, something that will take you to your greater heights to become the best person. We always appreciate your feedback. Write that feedback on the comment box. Write to us and email to us. God bless you and meet you at the top where you belong.